Next stop, Broadway.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always wanted to have a band. This is awesome. Thank you all for doing this.
Okay.
We're available.
I might turn that one on. When we do the band stuff, we'll turn that one on as well as like a backup mic. That was a suggestion we could try.
No, here.
For the band.
She fell in the bathtub. No, she got home last night. So she's home now. Yeah. She wasn't in the mood for a visit. No, we're good. Thank you for that. No, we've got lots of food. Daniel said so much, the soup company, Daniel said the box
Ari.
of 10 soups, I have no freezer space for it. So anyway, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. No, she prefers for privacy. Yeah, thank you.
I figured. I saw it.
Sorry.
Marielle. No, she's coming to you. No, that's way. Get away. Come back. She's right there. Na'ama, it's shul. It's a Hanukkah miracle.
I know.
Chag Sameach, everyone.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach and Shabbat Sholom. Come join us in the sanctuary. We don't have a wall up. We're not about walls. We're about bridges. But so if you're still kibitzing at your table, it's kind of like you're kibitzing in the sanctuary, which is not unusual, but hard to deal with. So we're so glad that you're here. As I mentioned earlier, we're super excited for the debut of the Temple Shalom Band. We have to name you guys.
Yeah.
The Beatles, the Monkees,
We're so excited to
The
be
Yidden.
here.
Yeah.
Right, guys? Thank you all for being here. You guys are amazing.
You can clap now. So let's have Hanukkah together and let's have Shabbat together. And the most important part of that statement is that we are together. So, Shabbat Shalom.
All right, we're going to start with Hanukkah Classic. And this is sing along. So everyone is encouraged to sing with us. We're going to have the words starting with the English
Oh,
up
sorry.
on the screens. All right, are we ready?
You're good.
Almost ready, almost ready. Okay. Everyone ready over here? We're going to bring in Shabbat, bring in Hanukkah. Here we go. Okay. Go for it.
Yeah, we start with Hanukkah.
Starting now.
No, we start with.
We're starting with Hanukkah. We need to.
Billy, guys, we're starting. We're starting. Okay. It's our first show. It's our first time together in this kind of setting. So, here we go. of days long ago. Okay.
Lewis is our own Clarence Clemens. That was awesome. That was terrific. That was wonderful.
Yeah, so we're a little warmed up and ready to turn.
Before we do that, if you drive a black BMW SUV, you don't need to admit that, but if you parked it in the parkade, your lights are on. MM631D is the license plate. Oh. Okay. Alyssa Delisle. Anybody need to ride home? Now, Shalom Aleichem.
All right. What page are we on? Okay, so we're going to officially start our Shabbat service with Shalom Aleichem, page 142, for those following along in the Siddur. Take it away. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashai, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Yes, we don't have to clap every time. It's the service.
We are-
After the end of the service, then we'll do the song session. You can clap during.
Yeah, exactly.
As we sit here, for some of us, this might be a bit of a Hanukkah miracle because it's our first time back in the sanctuary in a long time. And so we acknowledge that with our traditional blessing of Shehechianu, of having arrived to this joyous occasion. And I think the idea of having arrived is it's a tenuous one for us right now, because we are thinking, oh, we finally made it. We're on the light at the, what did the guy say from Abbotsford, the mayor? There's a light at the end of the tunnel and it's not a train coming at them, is that what they said? And we thought, oh, here we are, vaccines. Our children got vaccinated this week. Some of us, our young children got vaccinated this week. Incredible miracles of not only Hanukkah, but of science. And then Omicron is here, and like, oh, what do we do? So the Shehechianu is an interesting blessing, because it's a blessing that you can say, sorry, I've got volume coming in my ear here. Is that not turning off? There we go. Figure it out. The Shehechianu is an interesting blessing because it's a blessing that you can say multiple times, but it's a blessing that acknowledges a special moment. So special moments happening multiple times, that's the history of the Jewish people. We talk about waves of the coronavirus and waves of emotion, that's the history of the Jewish people. We're up, we're down, they're chasing us out of the village, they're bringing us into the village, and back and forth and back and forth. So we know this. We know that we have to celebrate the moments that we can celebrate, like this night tonight, and there's no guarantee of when we can get together again. And so we acknowledge that tension, and we thank God for the blessing of the moment that we are in. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed you, Adonai, our God, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and enabling us to arrive at this joyous occasion. May there be many, many more, with the acknowledgement that there are no guarantees. And so we celebrate every moment that we can. And with that, we will light the Hanukkah candles and then the Shabbos candles. Did you get this turned on?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah.
You might need Gordon's help.
Baruch atah Adonai.
Joyce made the candles.
Eloheinu melech haolam.
Memory of her beloved parents.
She'asa nisim lavotenu bayamim ha'hem ba'azman hazeh.
Last year we had to do this on Zoom from your house. Do you remember? There was that 2 years ago, last year? It's nice to do it in person. Thank you. Shakal.
Okay. Now, our Shabbat candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
So we have a slightly shorter Shabbat evening service tonight. So we're not doing a full Kabbalat Shabbat, but we are doing the highlight, which is Lecha Dodi. This poem composed by Shlomo Alkabetz in the 16th century. He was a Kabbalist, a Jewish mystic. And we've decided it's so good that we're going to keep singing it every week since then. And it tells of Shabbat, the bride, and we welcome her in. The last verse, we'll stand and we'll face the back, facing the entrance, welcoming in Shabbat. In verse 5, there's lots of verses here. Verse 5, we say, Hit oreri, wake up, ki va orech, kumi uri, for your light has come, rise and shine. And I think that's so perfect for our Hanukkah Shabbat today. So we're going to wake up our bodies and our souls to pray together, page 138 on this Festival of Lights, waking up our inner light as we begin Shabbat.
Standing, sorry. I had you stand up early and you sat down. We'll remain standing, page 263, Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתגדל שמי רבה.
אמן.
ואלמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון וחיי לכל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה
בריחו.
לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה
ושבחתה ונחמתה דמירום בעלמא.
ואמרו
Amen. Page 264, the Baruch Hu.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Vaed.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Can be seated. So we have truncated our service a little bit tonight so that we can enjoy Hanukkah with our younger members of our congregation, still get everybody home in time for bedtime, myself included. So we'll skip a few things, but not some stuff. So let's join together a prayer for evening, page 265, Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro Ma'ariv Aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, ובתבונה משנה עתים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים. Page 266.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אמת.
Page 270, Mi Chamocha, name that tune.
מי כמוך ואלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נור התהילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
So the Shabbat of Hanukkah, I think, is such a special Shabbat. There's something about having the glow of the Chanukiah and the glow of the Shabbat candles all together, bringing this warmth and this joy into our sanctuary and into our homes all around the world. So as we celebrate Shabbat, we're going to sing together on page 272, Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. Yam badai dai dai, Shabbat Shabbat, yam badai dai dai, Shabbat Shabbat, yam badai dai dai, Shabbat Shabbat, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom.
So we will rise together now for the Amidah on page 274.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim ve'Koneh Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם. מחלקל חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני לחיי המתים.
Page 276.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך הסלע. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen.
Please be seated. We're going to take just a moment now for our own individual silent prayer.
Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Yasher koach, indeed. So we're going to focus our thoughts right now on health and healing for those in our lives and our community for whom we are especially praying that they might find wholeness and peace and healing in their lives. And so we'll turn to, in our Sidurim, to page 371. In the middle of that page is Misha Berach. Before we sing this prayer together, we will share the names of those of whom we are especially thinking of this Shabbat: Doris Medved, Ralph Sauer, Rena Mazer, Janet Gelb, Alicia Eckersley, Rachel Rash, Lauren Westmoreland, Rabbi Benjamin Zober, Jean Angus, Robert Calwas, Bob Fanning, Mel Karp, Maury Dozer, Avram Sudak, Rayanne Brackett, Arnold Konevsky, Daniel Gottesman, Merle Granberg, Yehudit Bat Avraham Basara, Dina Mandel, Ralph Schulman, Basil Kalner,
Howard Diamond, Isabel, Judy Steiner Lossberg, Alana James, Dr. Dimitri Zanazin, Shana Stawicki, Sanford Cohen, Sarah Bat Avraham Vasara, Igor Ilyasov, David Shlomo Gorny, and Andrea Jarzbiak. And I invite you, if there are other people you are thinking of, if you'd like to stand and share their names aloud at this time, to please do so. Join together in our Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Draw your attention to our announcements this evening. Hopefully you got the handout as you came in. Again, a thank you to our incredible temple band. We look forward to the next little bit in just a moment after these announcements and a brief story. And a thank you to Cantor Cohen for putting all of that together. And to our whole office team, and Naama is here, and so Naama, who puts together all the beautiful things that you see that come out from our congregation, the shofar, the emails, everything. Naama, thank you. Thank you so much. And Marielle, who's bouncing around someplace getting everything together, and her baby naming for their daughter. There she is, sitting next to her dad. Nell's baby naming is tomorrow morning. So come to shul if you want, so we can give Nell her Shem Kodesh, her Hebrew name. I've enjoyed watching people fight over holding the Kleiner baby in the back of the room. Jen is winning right now. We're so glad that the Kleiners are here with their new baby. Number 5, we're going for a whole Hanukkah, right? That's what Constantine told me earlier. So. And to everyone that made tonight possible, particularly Bernie and Robin in the kitchen and their helpers. Rosh Chodesh, our Rosh Chodesh Renewal Group meets this Saturday after services. They will continue their study of the book of Judges, some interesting women to discover, so join us for that. That's following services tomorrow morning. Our Next Generation Olive and Oil Tasting takes place on Saturday, December 4th, which is this Saturday at 6 o'clock at Mount Pleasant. That's for our 20s and 30s group. Come taste some olive oil and learn about it with Professor Greg Gardner, who's Rabbi Brown's husband, who's also sitting here in the congregation. You're going to learn about oil lamps and what they can teach us about ancient Jews. Sisterhood's Hanukkah walk will be on Sunday. It's a busy weekend. At 11 o'clock at the trailhead on the south side of 16th, 10 meters from the east of Blanca Street and Pacific Spirit Park. There's no need to book ahead. Just show up, bring some good walking gear. Hopefully the weather will cooperate and you're not walking in the snow. Our Tikkun Olam Committee is having their organizing meeting this week on December 8th at 7 o'clock. Our Tikkun Olam Committee for right now is focusing on reconciliation, the environment, and refugees. In fact, we had some good news this week that our 9th and 10th Syrian refugees that we are sponsoring had their medical exam this week in Kurdistan, so they are that much closer. Hopefully their arrival will be within the next 6 to 8 weeks. And so we're standing up that committee to get ready, and you'll be seeing an email this week if you're interested in being involved in their settlement. We have a community trip to Israel planned, God willing. That's with Temple Sholom, Beth Israel, Sharet Tzedek, Beth Tikva, and the Jewish Federation, leaving July 24th. You do not need to pay, you will eventually, but to sign up for the trip. So if you're interested, we're just trying to gauge if there's enough people to continue to go forward. So if you're interested in going, if everything were to work out in its favor, in your favor, please sign up online after Shabbos so we can get a sense of our numbers. Our BBYO junior group is having their program next Sunday, so you can read about that. And our seniors lunch group had a fantastic Hanukkah concert with Cantor Cohen and Amy Gilbert this past week, and they'll be meeting again on Tuesday, December 14th. And we're going to the Louis Breyer, right, on Sunday to bring, not the whole band, although that would probably overwhelm the Breyer, but to bring the Hanukkah concert to the Louis Breyer. So we're looking forward to doing that, to visit with our seniors. Any announcements I missed? Those are a lot of announcements. Tot Shabbat tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. with Annette Kozicki, that's Annette's mother who promotes Annette Kozicki, our music specialist, so join us. We have child minding during services as well, so if you have little ones, come for that. Rabbi Brown. Oh, yes. And a huge thank you to Yael, who's right there in the back. Yael puts together all of our programs. Yael Schechter, who is just phenomenal, does our BBYO Junior, does actually almost everything that I mentioned on that announcement sheet. Yael has had a hand in putting together. So a huge thank you to Yael for our Next Generation group, for our BBYO Junior group, for our East Side Jews, for our social media. You've been seeing a lot of our social media. That's Yael pulling all those things together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So one of the advantages or disadvantages of being a rabbi or a person that reads Jewishly is that you can sometimes see the world through biblical eyes. And by that what I mean is that sometimes when you see or experiencing things, they call up for you in your memory, oh, that's like that biblical story, or that's like that Talmudic teaching. You may not have that experience, but for rabbis and cantors, we walk in the market and we're like, oh, that's like that thing in the Bible, or whatever it is. I had that experience this week in a pretty profound kind of way, and it reminded me of this story from the Talmud that I'm going to tell you tonight, for which I need props. These are the props. So the story is this, and there was a point to it at the end, as all stories should have. A king is coming to visit a shtetl, a village. And it's a big deal for the village to welcome a king, and a really illustrious and grand moment for the whole village. And so the rabbi of the shtetl of the village calls the town, everybody in the village, to the town square. He says, the king is coming to visit. And this is a big deal for our village. The king has never come to visit before. We're going to put on a big party. Now, we're a poor village. We can't put out a big feast. We can't put out a lot of food. But we can have a l'chaim. We can make a toast to the king. And then somebody from the crowd says, but what wine will we serve to the king? Our wine is not going to be good enough for the king. We have this wine and that wine. I made mine in my bathtub last night. It's just, whatever. And the rabbi says, no, this is what we're going to do. We're going to show the king how beautiful the varieties and the differences and all of the customs of our little village are. Everybody is going to bring their wine. And we're all going to pour one Kiddush cup of wine into a giant barrel. We're all going to pour one Kiddush cup of wine into a giant barrel. We're going to make a beautiful wine punch, right? We're going to make a beautiful wine punch, and we're going to share that with the king. And when the king comes, he'll drink from that, and he'll taste all of the wonderful tastes and all the wonderful spices and the culture of our village and our community. And everybody thought, that's a great idea, Rabbi. What a wonderful rabbi. No, they didn't say that. They never say that. But in my mind, they said that. What a wonderful idea, Rabbi. We'll all do it. And so the rabbi put out a big barrel in the town village. He says, after Shabbos tonight, come, bring your Kiddush cup of wine, save a little bit from your Shabbos table, from your Havdalah, and pour your wine into the barrel. And so throughout the day, and throughout the evening and throughout the day, Jews would come, and they would pour their wine into the barrel. And everybody would come, and they would pour their wine into the barrel. And sure enough, the next day came, and the barrel, the rabbi tapped it, it's quite full. This is going to be a fantastic wine. The king comes, and they welcome the king with celebration and with song. There was a band. Lewis was on the saxophone, the shtetl version of Lewis. And the king comes, They said, Your Highness, we are so honored that you've come to our village. The whole town has taken their Shabbos wine and saved a little bit and poured it into this barrel so that you can drink a l'chaim with us, a celebration to life. And so the king goes to the barrel, and he pours the wine into the cup, and he lifts it up, and he drinks, and it's water. And the king is stunned. This is how you welcome the king? You give me a barrel full of water? I can get water back in my own village, in my own palace. I had the finest water in all the world, the best water. This is how you welcome the king? And the king leaves, never to come back to that village again. And the rabbi is crestfallen. He is stunned. And he says to his townspeople, what happened? We had a plan. We had an agreement. We were all going to bring a little bit of our Shabbos wine. What happened? And he points to Shlomo, the shamus of the synagogue. Shlomo, what happened? He says, well, I thought if everybody else is putting in their wine, why should I give of my wine? I'll just put in water. You won't taste the difference if it's just a little water. And then he went to the Gabbai, David of the synagogue, and said, David, what happened? He says, well, like Shlomo, I thought if everybody's putting in wine, why should I need to put in wine? So I put in water. I figured nobody would taste the difference. And on down the line throughout the shtetl they went, and he found that everybody thought somebody else was going to do it right, and so they would do it their way. And that's why they had a barrel full of water for the king. So I thought of this story when I was at Oak and 49th filling up my car with gas the other day. Because on the sign, on the gas pump, was the sign that said, 30 liters, no more. Now, I come from the United States, okay? You know that. In the United States, that sign would mean absolutely nothing in almost every community. And I thought, okay, well, it's going to stop at 30, right? But then I looked at the pump next to me, and that pump had stopped at like 26. And I looked at the pump that I was about to fill up at, and that pump had stopped at like 28 and a half or something. Oh, this is interesting. Maybe they're not even letting you get a full 30. So I put my card in, and I put the thing in, and I started to fill my gas tank. That's going up, it's going up to 20. Now, this isn't stopping. And so then I realized I have to stop. So I stopped it at 30. It was like 30.3. I couldn't go quick enough. And I realized then that we are not like that shtetl. And thank God we're not. Now, maybe people are filling up more than 30. I don't know. But at least for the 3 people, myself and the 2 that were before me, everybody on the honors system didn't pour water into the barrel. They put only 30 liters of gas into their car. And I was so moved by that moment. And it's such a lesson from the Talmud of what happened in that shtetl, but a lesson for us now, not just about gasoline, but about vaccines, and about masks, and about care for each other, and about giving to those that are in need and not taking too much for ourselves. The lesson from the Talmud is a lesson for this time as well. We are all responsible. Kol Yisrael Aravim Zeh B'Zeh. All people, we'll say Jews, it says in the Talmud, but all people are responsible for one another like we are siblings, like we are related. We can't just pour water into the barrel. We could get away with taking 35, 40 liters of gas, but at some point it catches up with you. And so our responsibility as human beings, let alone as Jews, b'makom she'ein anashim histadel lihiyot ish, in a place where people are acting inhuman, strive to be a human being. Strive to be a mensch. You practice your Judaism in synagogue for sure, but you practice your Judaism more at the gas pump. More when you put your mask on, when you go and take your kids to get vaccinated. It's not how often you show up in shul. It's how often shul, synagogue, shows up in you. Shabbat Shalom. Our service continues, page 586. We rise for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס עולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. So we turn to page 595 for a reading before the Kaddish. Yesh kochavim, there are stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We share the names of those beloved members of our families and our congregations whom we remember. I invite you, as I read the name of your loved one out loud, to please stand in your place as you honor their memory. We are in Shloshim for Faye Manis. And we mark Yartzeit this week for Muttel Babbins, Donald Becker, Nicholas Burcheller, Alex Bilenkoff, Helen Brickman, Eva Brooks, Lillian Brown, Melvin Kopolovich, Jamie Citronbaum, Frederiki de Vries Vaz Diaz, Sydney Eibschutz, Shirley Fishman, Lenore Fryman, Harry Garfield, Raymond Gassoy, Hyman Gorin, Samuel George Gordon, Zevia Hendel, Basil Quijano Henriquez, Saul Hoffman, Isaac Jacobson, Leo James, William Kagan, Sandy Califf, Max Karp, Dorothy King, Alice Knott, Mark Kahn, Ruth Mischler, Helen Moskowitz, Walter Mott, Nancy Phyllis Mundinger, H. Peter Oberlander, Malka Pudovic, Samuel Pudovic, David Rabinovich, Mo Roberts, Saul Rind, Derek Salzberg, Samuel Siegel, Fanny Sheftel, Isaac Simkin, Lou Skolko, Morris Slate, Rivka Steinbach, Eduardo Tesler-Mabe, T. Ungar, Isaac Wilanowski, Edward Wallach, Naomi Zara, and Abraham Zelikovitz. There are other names to mention for Kaddish. I invite you to rise and share the name of your loved one at this time. We stand together now as one congregation beside those who mourn and join in these words of Kaddish, page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam l'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudsha barichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlam rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be a blessing as we say together, amen.
Amen.
Amen. So you may be seated. We are going to join together now with our band in a wonderful Hanukkah medley. And I think the word's going to be on the screen for...
Yeah.
Okay, the words are on the... Oh, here they come. Cool
Words
screens.
will be on the screen, and if any kids are around and have been waiting to sing some Hanukkah songs on Sunday, if our religious school students had a amazing concert that they put on, which includes most of these songs. So if you're a religious school family, you probably will know lots of these. We encourage you to sing with us. Isn't the band amazing? All right, so we're going to start with a Ladino favorite, Ocho Candelicas, which is all about counting the candles. So if you want to show, when we get to the chorus, you can show me with your hands, counting those candles. Do you want to go? No, you guys know them. We're going to jump in. What? Oh, the slide. Here. How do we get back? We go back to the verse slide. Getting all set up.
I just started on the chorus on mine.
Oh, smart. Let's find out. I don't know. No. Can you go forward? Can you go forward? Someone on it? Someone's on it? I don't know. Okay. We'll get that figured out. For now, let's start. Hanukkah linda. Hanukkah linda está aquí. Ocho candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda. Hanukkah linda está aquí. Ocho candelas para mí. Candelicas, 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 cuatro candelicas, candelicas, seis candelicas, candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas vamos a hacer, con alegría y placer. Muchas fiestas vamos a hacer, con alegría y placer. Get ready to count. Las candelicas, 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 cuatro candelicas, candelicas, seis candelicas, candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Lewis, take it away. Got some dancing going on. I love it. Last time. Candelicas, 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 ocho candelas para mí. All right, Sevivos, so. Sevivos, so. Hanukkah, Chagton, Hanukkah, Chagton, Sevivos, so. Chag Simcha, Ula, we got a couple more fun Hanukkah songs to do. So, who here can tell me what is a sufganiyah? Say it out loud. 1, 2, 3. Donuts. We're about to have some in just a few minutes. If you haven't had some already this week. Has anyone had donuts this week? Sufganiyot? Yeah. All right, so think about what is your favorite filling. And if any kids feel like standing up, you can come up to the front if you want and you're masked and whatever. You can come up and hang out with us. There's some space here. Okay, kids in the back. This is for you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sufganiyot, gonna make some sufganiyot. Yummy in the middle. Sufganiyot, gonna make some sufganiyot. Not too fast. Let's breathe. Okay. Let's see. What is your favorite filling? Aiden, we're gonna say it really loud. Strawberry? Can we go with strawberry? Okay. What's in the middle? Strawberry. What's in the middle of sufganiyot? What's in the middle? Strawberry. What's in the middle of sufganiyot? Sufganiyot, gonna make some sufganiyot. Yummy in the middle. Sufganiyot, gonna make some sufganiyot. All right. What other fillings? Who else has a filling that they like? Gotta go with the people I can hear. Okay, say it really loud. Ooh, chocolate. Does anyone else like chocolate? Let's try chocolate. What's in the middle? Chocolate. What's in the middle? What's in the middle? Chocolate. What's in the middle of sufganiyot? Sufganiyot, gonna make some sufganiyot. Yummy in the middle. Sufganiyot, gonna make some sufganiyot. Should we go to the bridge? Let's go to the bridge. Crisp on the outside, soft on the inside. Hoppity hop it into your mouth. Sufganiyot, sufganiyot, sufganiyot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sufganiyot, gonna make some sufganiyot. Yummy in the middle. Sufganiyot, gonna make some sufganiyot. Woo! All right, so we got our sufganiyot. What game do we play on Hanukkah? You've probably been playing it all week. Say it out loud. 1, 2, 3. Dreidel. You guys are pros. All right, so if anyone, again, feels like showing us what the dreidel does. No, you guys are too old. I think people are almost ready to eat, don't you think, for dessert? All right, let's sing I Have a Little Dreidel. 1, 2, 3. I have a little dreidel. I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. Oh, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, now dreidel I shall play. It has a lovely body with legs so short and thin. And when it is all tired, it drops and then I win. Oh, dreidel, 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 with legs so short and thin. When it gets all tired, it drops and then I win. My dreidel's always playful. It loves to dance and spin. A happy game of dreidel. Come play now, let's begin. Oh, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. It loves to dance and spin. Nice spinning. Loves to dance and dreidel. Come play now, oh, dreidel. Oh, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. It loves to dance and spin. A happy game of dreidel. Come play now, let's begin. Okay, amazing. Loved some of the dancing that was happening. We only have one more song between you and Sufganiyot in the back. Real ones this time. Okay? So I just want to give a huge shout out to our Temple Shalom Band on their debut. They have been rehearsing and coming into the building and schlepping their instruments back and forth for several weeks, and they are all amazing. Add so much joy to our Shabbat, right? All right. Please join us in Ma'otzor.
Temple Shalom Band! Thank you all so much. Services tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Torah study at 8:30 via Zoom. B'tei Avon, enjoy your Suf Ganiot. Hanukkah Sameach.
a pro. That's it.